talk.
Oh!
Hey!
Hello!
Didn't see you come in!
Welcome to Rebel Base!
The base where we rebel.
Rebel. But yeah, I'm El Catrina.
And I'm Sarah the Rebel.
And you are a rebel, but you rebel.
Your mom's a rebel. This means
Yes.
she's a bell-like rebel. Anyway.
Obviously.
I had to tell people we're live. Anyway,
totally.
if you're brand new, we talk about gaming and comics and anything else geeky from the perspective of two crazy cat lady feminists, so that's fun.
Cat ladies. My cat is freaking out this week because I recently moved. And
Tell us all about that.
He's having a dilemma. He has peed in places that are not his litter box. It's very upsetting. I was worried he would start like nervous puking or something, but we're safe on that front.
Nervous peeing, nervous puking.
Also, neither of those are good things.
Yeah.
But welcome to Rebel Base. A lot has happened over the past week.
So much.
Or 2 weeks actually. Yeah, so much has happened. I went to New York Comic Con and that was really cool. Did you go to Geek Girl Con?
I did not. I went to Indiecade.
She went to Indiecade. On the same weekend I was at New York Comic Con, which I was upset about because I totally wanted to go to Indiecade really bad. So we're going to talk about that in a little bit. But I guess let's jump into comic movie news.
Oh my god, that drink is delicious.
Isn't it? It's so good. Moscato's the best, guys. Don't drink if you're irresponsible or under 21.
Don't drink if you're a biatch either, because we don't like biatches drinking.
Don't do it. Just don't. It's a bad idea.
Sorry, I'm not looking at the camera, folks. We're running a little bit behind, as you could tell.
Bad time. I guess I'll just start it off. So Marvel is absolutely in every way leading up to the Civil War in their cinematic universe. Robert Downey Jr. has signed on to be Iron Man in Captain America 3, and that is said to launch Civil War. On top of that, they are fighting Sony or chiding Sony into rights for Spider-Man, hopefully still played by Andrew Garfield. So Civil War is pretty much freaking happening. My editor-in-chief has been obsessively writing. I mean, I saw she has one of those pin boards at her house that has
where she's just tracking everything.
Civil War is happening. So yeah, Alicia Grasso is working on that, and she's written some really great editorials on it. On that same note, DC had its lineup completely spilled this week because DC doesn't really think about what it's doing ever.
We're DC Comics guys.
So I think it was a serious, and a lot of people think this way, it's a serious missed opportunity the way these things come out. DC basically had a shareholders meeting and they told all their shareholders about their lineup. Now, their lineup includes the first modern female-led superhero movie with Wonder Woman, and I believe Wonder Woman's first big official feature film. Mm-hmm. On top of that, 2 people of color on their lineup.
We counted. Yeah, it's easy to do.
It's easy to do because it's not hard to lose count of people in color in comics.
Yeah, you don't even need both hands.
But Aquaman is officially being played by Jason Momoa because we're all really surprised by that.
Can we take a moment and
we've been talking about this for weeks.
Can we take a moment and thank whatever deity you pray to for that man? Because it's Sam.
I'm so glad he's playing Aquaman. I want his Aquaman to be more
soaking wet so often.
Hey, Aquaman, I'm the king of the sea. I'm gonna kill you.
He's just gonna rise up from the waves. There's gonna be a slow motion run for the waves, and I'm just gonna be orgasm. What am I? I'm in the theater.
And then Ray Fisher, who is a little-known stage actor, was cast as Cyborg earlier this year for Dawn of Justice. But Cyborg is also getting his own movie in 2020. That's huge news. On top of that, the first openly gay actor on DC's roster, Ezra Miller, who is a phenomenal actor, he's so funny and witty, and I think he'd do really well as this character. He's been cast as the Flash. And a lot of people are apparently really upset about that, according to the nasty comments on the article I wrote about it. The amount of people who said this fruitcake and this fruitcake can't play the Flash, and I'm like, hold on, This guy is white. He's skinny.
Have you read anything?
Do you know the Flash? Like, I know the Flash. This guy is
Also,
live.
Fun fact, I don't think he's actually gay. I
believe he's pansexual.
Right, he's pansexual. So
Yes.
if they're worried, like, the Flash needs to be a ladies' man, motherfucker could get me in, like, I'll be down.
There's this actor called Neil Patrick Harris that I feel like people keep forgetting, who constantly plays a very convincing ladies' man. P.S. Magneto's actor is gay.
Are you playing the Rebel-based drinking game?
Oh.
So, take a sip.
It's time to take a sip, guys. So it's just really dumb, and they're like, oh, he doesn't look like the Flash. I'm like, it's called hair dye, you stupid, stupid bitch.
You stupid,
Like,
stupid.
So yeah, I would have really been excited if this had been announced the right way. But DC apparently doesn't give NDAs to their freaking shareholders, and their shareholders just came out of the meeting like, hey guys, there's gonna be a Wonder Woman movie.
Took a selfie with, like, the PowerPoint behind them.
Like, who are these people? Like, these freaking 50-year-olds, like, I'm going to talk about the Wonder Woman movie. I don't know why.
I made her laugh so hard I broke her.
Yeah, you broke me. So, it's been pretty ill-received that DC's most diverse lineup of actors in movies are, they were spoiled for us. And that could have... DC needs to clean up a lot with that, and I don't really trust their marketing department to do so. Because their marketing department is responsible for a lot of dumb things.
They seem like one of those companies that doesn't have very good communication between the different silos, and so, because as they mentioned with the whole shirt fiasco, there was a whole section of DC folks that were like, we did not know about these shirts. We would have definitely been like, hell no, don't put this shirt out there. Mm-hmm. We talked about that last podcast. If you missed it, shame on you. Go watch it on YouTube.
Yes, and my dad actually brought up a really cool. A really cool point. I don't know why I keep.
Take some sips of Moscato.
I know, right? I got to clear my throat, so I have to drink.
Wait, we have to do something, so you have to drink. I will do it for you. I'm wearing something silly on my head. Take a drink.
Oh, no. We're going to be really drunk by the end of this. Where was I going with that? What was I saying?
So our next piece is Female Robin?
Oh, Female Robin, yeah. So Jenna Malone, who is that chick in the Hunger Games, and she was in Sucker Punch. She's really good friends with Zack Snyder. She is being rumored to be Cassie Kelly, who was the Robin in The Dark Knight Returns, or The Dark Knight comics.
Like, wait.
So basically, she was Batman's Robin, and she's a total badass. Like, he saves her, and then she spends her allowance on, like, a Robin costume and purposely goes out and fights crime so that he'll find her.
Excellent.
And
lady.
She's, like, this really cool chick. She's short red hair, and Jenna Malone recently dyed her hair red and is apparently, according to Detroit reporters, hanging out on set. So, it's and I love the way it's being reported, because it's just like, guys, there's gonna be a female Robin. Like, one third of the Robins are female. I don't know if y'all read comics or not, but
that's often how I feel about things when people get excited. Like,
there's a female Robin. Well, you know what? There's a male Thor. There's a male Captain America. I just get irritated because it's never a thing if it's like a dude, but oh god, if there's like a female this or that. And yeah, I mean, like, it, I don't want to go too deep into it, but I just, it's a new take on it. And I mean, the Batman versus Superman movie is supposed to be based on this storyline, so I'm not surprised by it. I'm all about it, but that just adds another character to, like, the 50 that are in the movie. Yep. Like, Aquaman's in it, Wonder Woman's in it, Batman's in it,
Lois Lane's in it. It's really weird that this isn't just a Justice League movie.
Yeah, it doesn't make any goddamn sense.
I feel like we're going to get a really, and I know you guys are going to hate me for saying this, but I think we're going to get a shitty movie out of this, because I think what's going to happen is it's all going to be focused on Batman and Superman, and everyone else is going to have a teeny tiny little bit part that's not going to actually satisfy anyone, and that's going to be artificially written in. Like, it's not going to be in a sensible, like, storyline type of way. It's going to be, okay, now we need to get Aquaman in, so we're going to do this. Oh, we need to make sure we get Cyborg in, so we're going to do this. So I'm very worried about it turning into that kind of very, like, look what we did there kind of movie. It's something that Joss Whedon actually mentioned that he specifically tried to avoid when making Avengers. So I hope that DC can learn from him and be very cognizant of not doing a lot of in things.
It just doesn't, like, make sense to me that DC isn't... It's more like, oh my god, we have to beat Marvel, rather than like, oh my god, we should pay attention to what they're doing and try to do even better. Like, again, this whole announcement could have been huge. It could have been gigantic. Like, this is impactful. There are, like the people of color that were superheroes in the past were, like, Blade and Shaft, and, like, Cyborg is such a great character. He's an incredible character, and I really love him. But, and so it's just, like, it sucks that he's finally going to get his own standalone movie, which is something you don't see with a character like Cyborg. And it's just not important. Like, it's not a freaking festival. And I think it sucks, but that's just my opinion.
I mean, let's not give up all hope yet. There's still many years for them
There's many Comic Cons for them to try and screw up on.
Right. Damn, see, girl, you pessimist. You need drinks.
I am pessimist.
Drinks almost to shut up.
If I go in with lowered expectations, how can they hurt me?
Lowered expectations.
The DC dating service. So,
oh my.
I guess we should recap NYCC and Indiecade.
Yes, so I went to Indiecade. If you don't know what Indiecade is, it's a celebration of indie games, which is independently developed games. I have a great time every year. I've gone every year since I've been out in Cali, because this is where you go and you find games that will blow your mind and make you think, what even is a game? What is a game? Why have I been so limited in what I think a game is? Like, it'll make you rethink things. It might inspire you to actually become a game developer yourself. It's very cool. So this year there weren't as many games that really, like, made me do that. But there were some interesting games and some interesting innovations in technology that I will call attention to. One is that y'all know about virtual reality and putting on a headset and doing all that business. Well, did you know that now they're just making peripherals for your, like, Galaxy Note, where you just tuck your Note into this headset and suddenly you're in a 3D world?
Love it.
That was crazy.
There is actually a Marvel promo going on where you could take a tour of, like, Tony Stark's lab with your VR, and they're doing a Pacific Rim piloting thing, which we should do. That's why it pointed to us.
Yeah, you're totally not. We're not drift compatible, actually. So
I think we are.
That was really cool to see them just simply take something so simple in a way. Like, our generation, of course, and probably if any of you are older generations, and definitely y'all, are used to thinking about virtual reality as something far in the future, as something kind of bulky, as something very expensive. Can you imagine if it's as simple as buying, like, a little peripheral for your phone or your iPad, and suddenly you have access to 3D games and 3D worlds? That's a really cool thing. That's a really interesting thing for the future of games as well. So that was the innovation that most intrigued me. And then the game that kind of caught my... Well, there are a few games that I played that were interesting and diverse, but the one that really caught my attention is called Eulogy for a Dead World, I believe. And it's actually it's just a freaking writing prompt. That's all it is, really, when you break it down. But you're a character going through these gorgeous, beautiful, dead planets. And every time you get to a certain marker, you write in your journal. And they have, like, little pieces of the sentence filled out, but not all of it. So you end up creating something that is wholly your own story. And it's almost like they've taken pictures and imagery to inspire you in what to write. And you get to see each other's stories as well. And that's really funny, because the guy before me was all like, T-bone steaks were the gods. And I was all like, their machines were the downfall of their civilization. Anyway, so it was cool seeing, like, those comparisons. There's also a game where one person wears red glasses and the other person wears blue glasses. And you're looking at the same screen, but you can't see each other. And you have to communicate verbally with each other to get past certain parts of the game. And then, of course, there were just the fun little indie platformers that I loved playing. So I had a really great time. Saw a lot of fun people, Ashley Birch and Nika Harper, and All sorts of people that we love.
I love them. Bringing it back. Wait, I wanted to bring it back to the VR for. Kind of tying in the VR and Indiecade. I think one of the coolest things about Indiecade is it shows you what video games can do. Like, for example, there's this really great video of people, like older people with a VR headset on, and they are taken through like an Italian garden. And these are people who are like too old to go travel, and they just have a blast. They're like, it's so nice out here. I love it. This reminds me of this or that. And that's video games. That's like stuff that we love is capable. It's capable of not only being an entertaining experience for us, but it's capable of doing good for other people too. So I feel like there's been a lot of protests against like, oh, I don't like how video games are like, I don't know, like there's a video game about depression or there's a video game about this or that. But I think that using this technology is one of the coolest things in the whole wide world. Like the things you can do because video games were made these days are mind-blowing. Like, if you told me this kind of stuff would be around when I was a kid, I would have laughed at you, like,
right?
Because it's such, like, you know, when I was a kid, I had such an insular video game, like, a perspective on it. Like, video games are only, like, RPGs, and they're only this, and they're only shooting games, and that.
Meanwhile, at Indiecade, I've played games where I control movement of my character by going, pew! And that's movement and that's gun noise. I've played games where I'm playing volleyball with an invisible ball and an invisible net using only sounds. I've played games where I've swung from jungle handles, which were actually PlayStation moves. I mean, they are constantly expanding what games are, what they can do, and like you said, what you can apply everything we learned from gaming into the real world. You know, being able to see again, using video game technology to study eyeballs, using video game technology as supercomputers to help unlock the human. Do you say genome or genome? I've actually never tried to say that out loud.
Genome. I heard it is genome in a movie, so you might not want to trust me.
I'm gonna say genoma. I will purposefully say it wrong just so you can't pick on me. So yeah, Indiecade is just such an inspiring place to visit, and I love it every year, and I hope you guys will support it if you're ever able to. And a lot of times they go to other conventions. I think they're always at E3 and they're always at PAX. For example, there will be a special Indiecade section where they showcase all these indie developers. So you should stop by that if you get the chance, if you're at any other convention, and talk to them, because the developers want to talk to you. It's not like when you go into, I don't want to pick on anyone, let's say you go into a AAA game space at a convention, you start to talk to them, they're just like, oh, this game's going to be awesome, check it out. An indie developer is like, hey, hi, hello, my name is so-and-so, I spent my last 7 years of my life building this thing, and I'm really tired, and I want to know what you think about it for reals, though. And it's just like such a more personal connection, I don't know, I love it.
So we are getting a couple questions in on not only the chat. Hello, Dad. We're reading the chat, and I see all of your exclamation points. Nope. But we're more importantly getting more questions on the hashtag. Kaylee brought up some cool things. Unfortunately, I've not seen the new Korra episode, but I hear it's amazing. And then she also brought up the whitewashing of that new Christian Bale Moses-y movie.
I don't want to talk about that stupid-ass movie.
Yeah, unfortunately, we have already covered that, but it's just, like, you know, I mean, and actually, I kind of want to use that, and instead of going, ugh, I want to talk about diversity in mainstream movies. I have been covering Big Hero 6 for, like, a year. And today I went to Disney Animation for a junket. I saw the movie on Thursday, but I went for a junket with the actors and with the crew and the guys behind the movie, and they were all completely stellar. But what I want to highlight about this movie is that it's massively diverse for a Disney film. Like, the last film we got out of them was Frozen, about two white girls. And it was like, well, what a sweet little sister movie. And that was about it for me. Like, I liked it, it was pretty, and I liked the connection between the sisters, but it wasn't like something that went wow to me. And
I boycotted the movie because I wanted it to be about, I don't know, Inuits.
Yeah, so there's that as well, and that really bothered me about it too. But Big Hero 6, it mainly focuses on Hero and his family. So if you want anything out of the side characters outside of, like, really badass stunts and, like, being wonderful people, by the way. They're like highly supportive. They're so sweet. Highly supported. So sweet, wonderful. But the cast is so colorful. Like, Hiro and his brother are both half Japanese, half American. I am completely, like, of the notion that Genesis Rodriguez is Honey Lemon, who I used to think was, like, a super white girl, is half Hispanic, because in the movie she's tan, she rolls her R's. Like, it might just be the way Genesis talks, but you wouldn't cast a strongly Latina actor
if the character wasn't to be that, right?
And then there's Gogo Tamago, who is absolutely my wife. Damon Wayans plays Wasabi, who is a fantastic character. And you just have all of this. It's also, like, wonderful to see mixed families, because that's where I come from. That's where you come from. And we're not, like, half Japanese, half white. But
fortunately,
I know.
I would be the sexiest
we
bitch
would
on
be
the planet.
so hot.
It would be so cute. Damn it.
But we are mixed babies, and it was just so cool to see a family that, like, even in the littlest nuances of what they do, like, their Aunt Cass is, like, a white woman, but she very much supports, like, and it's not something she has to verbalize, but she supports that they're Japanese. She runs a Japanese bakery, and she's very, very sweet and, like, loving to Dashi and to Hiro. And I think, and I talked to the filmmakers today, and I said that really made an impact on me, because that's what I come from. I come from a family where we have, like, a little bit of everything, where we roll our own gnocchi, but we're also, like, really Irish, you know? So I would recommend Big Hero 6. It's a great family movie. It's so heartfelt. I hope it gets a sequel so we can explore the other characters. So don't expect anything out of, like, the side characters. Like, you're not going to go into their lives that deeply, though there is a fantastic Easter egg in one of the characters' fathers that I just flipped out on, but I won't spoil it on you.
I'm excited. I love Easter eggs.
Oh, it's great. There are a lot of Easter eggs. It's a Disney Marvel movie, so if you're a comic fan, like, keep your eyes peeled, because they put it in, like, the littlest places. Like, if you are not watching, you'll miss it, except for this one big one. But yeah, I think it's a really good turn in the right direction for Disney, because, like, since when has Disney had a successful movie about a person of color that wasn't patronizing?
Yeah.
Like,
painting with all the colors of the wind, because my people are so good and kind. We're spirit nature takers of the earth.
We talk to the spirits.
Instead of actually, I don't know, being human or whatever. That's silly. That's silly. Everybody knows Native Americans are just going around being kind.
And Mulan obviously knows all of her descendants by name and spirit. But yeah, no, I mean, this is, and the way they blended the cities too kind of reflects that diversity too, because their city is called San Francisco, which on first, like,
that
notion, I laughed really. I was like, San Francisco. But then you, like, look at it and you're, like, in the shot as Baymax and Hero fly over it, and you're like, I want to go there. Like, and it's this great mix of, like, Japanese and American culture, and I love it. Like, there are a few things that I would say are missing and empty about the movie, but I feel like if this movie does really well, that's something that they can explore in the future.
Right, and that's really exciting. I won't go, I think you covered everything I'd feel, but I've mentioned before, the first time I ever saw a commercial featuring a family that looked anything like mine was an English commercial. On my way to England, there was a mixed family with a black dad, a white mom, and a mixed baby. And it blew my mind. I was like, Mama, wake up. There's a commercial with a baby me. And she was just like, yeah, in England, it's no big deal. I don't know why Americans are such assholes. Well, she didn't say asshole because she's English, but then she went back to sleep.
Arseholes.
No, she's so proper. My mom probably said something like, they're full of baloney. And went away. The point is that it does matter, and I think more and more Americans can relate to mixed households, because we're becoming even more mixed than we've ever been before. And I mean, a lot of, we always just bundle white together, but back in the day, an Irish person and an Italian person getting together was like a big deal. And now our next big deal is Spanish people, Asian people, black people. Let's get them all in there. Let's do it.
I'm all about it. So, yeah, if you're looking for a heartfelt,
tell your story.
Visually stunning, I'll get to that in one second, visually stunning story with, like, this thing will make you laugh really hard, it'll make you cry really hard. Hero's big brother is the hottest guy in the whole wide world. But yeah, okay, so I went to the junket today, and it was amazing. Jamie Chung said that I was the real life Go-Go Tamago, and I'm like, oh, Jamie Chung talked to me. Hold on. Oh,
and
also,
then Katrina melted into a puddle. She was like,
Scott Addison. I was doing an interview where I was interviewing Baymax himself. So he was like on a satellite projector.
Betamax? What?
Oh, Baymax, the robot.
Oh, okay. I thought
so he
Betamax, which is a thing.
He was on a satellite projector, and then Scott Addison was in like another room, like voicing him. And I interviewed Baymax as if we were like in the world of Big Hero 6, and Baymax commented on my hair. And then while he was leaving the junket, like I was checking out and getting my awesome swag. And Scott Addison came out and he's like, "It's you!" And I was like, "Oh yeah, you said that stuff about my hair," because he was like, "There are some brown spots on the bottom. Do you need help?" And I was like, "I need a stylist robot, not a medical robot." But yeah, he's like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to make fun of your hair."
And you were like, "No, the fuck you did."
He's like, he like ruffled my hair, and he's like, "It's so blue," and it was like, "Oh my god." I love Scott Addison because he was hilarious on 30 Rock, and he is a comic book writer. So
it's so blue.
Yeah, it's so blue.
That's hilarious that you got your hair ruffled like a damn little boy.
I know, it was weird. I felt like the little sister of the journalism world today because everyone else was like older than me, and they were all like, "Oh, you're so cute." And but going on, I was talking to the creators of the film, Don Hall and Chris but yeah, they're both wonderful people. They remembered me. They remembered me, and I didn't remember their full names. But yeah, so I was talking to them, and I was highlighting how much I loved the diversity in this film, and I was like, I'm so excited about all the people of color. And I don't know what, like, ever since I said that, I've just had this like phlegm in my throat.
You're being punished.
So I'm being punished for that, but. Yeah, oh my god, like, it's so crazy because when you cover a movie for so long, you, like, have these extremely high expectations, and you're like, oh man, this is gonna suck because I care about it so much, but I really liked Big Hero 6, and I think it's got a lot of potential if they're gonna, like, launch a cartoon or anything like that, like they usually do. Like, it could be awesome to see, like, I would love to see that on Disney XD because you don't have that many shows that have that much color. That much color. But, yeah, okay, so go see Big Hero 6, because it's awesome.
Color. Go see it.
I love it. But, yeah, so I guess...
We're moving on to...
Moving on.
Do we want to talk about your New York Comic Con experience as part of the overall topic, or?
I mean, I didn't experience anything.
All right, so just talk about
New York Comic Con was great. There were secret Marvel meetings that nobody was invited to except for retailers.
Super secret.
Retailers, guys. They invited retailers to go see the Age of Ultron trailer, and not any of us. Like, what are the retailers gonna do? Oh, well, I guess I only make figurines. Like, why do they need to see the trailer?
Angry.
Why do they need to see the trailer? I need to see the trailer. I need to see it. Me. Something really funny about this scene that they're, like, showing, because they showed a cut of, like, the movie, and this is one that was shown at San Diego Comic-Con, which I missed. But they showed this scene where Black Widow, or all the Avengers and Rhodey and Sam are all in, like, Tony's place, and they're, like, drinking, and they're trying to, like, lift Thor's hammer, and, like, Cap gets the hammer up like an inch, and Thor gets really offended by that, and then, like, they get to Black Widow, and she's like, I don't need to lift it. And I love it because it kind of alludes to the What If Age of Ultron issue number 3, where she is Thor, and she, like, wields Mjolnir, because Mjolnir's like, oh, you're worthy as hell. Like,
girl, you mad worthy.
Oh, you are super worthy.
I want to get you, girl, you mad worthy tattooed across my collarbone, actually. I think that would be the best tattoo.
Something else that I think you will like, just one more thing about Big Hero 6, Go-Go Tamago is, like, a total badass, and her saying, like, her little, like, superhero catchphrase is woman up.
Good.
She's like, woman up! And I'm like, oh, I love it. And she says that to, like, everybody. She's like, stop being such a baby, just woman up.
And then she just, like,
she does something crazy. I love it.
Excellent.
But New York Comic Con was great, and something that I would love to lead into the main topic with is their giant, I mean, taller than me, massive cosplay is not consent sign.
Hey, listen!
Hey, stupid!
Hey!
Are you a fucking barbarian? Don't touch people. Here it is in giant font. Don't fucking touch people, you idiot.
How disrespectful to barbarians. I want to tweet that. I don't have time.
But, yes.
Are you a barbarian? Call this number. We're here to help.
Yes, so cosplay is not consent, and a lot of conventions are starting to implicate.
Wait, before we get there,
oh, sorry,
we should tell you that is actually our main topic.
That's our main topic. Oh! We should have an air guitar rule. Because that doesn't happen often. Finish your drink and play air guitar.
Oh, Lord.
Oops.
I'm gonna do it. Look, we gotta talk real quick. So our main topic for the night, because we've both been going to a lot of cons, we wanted to address the overall topic of conventions and how they handle issues such as diversity or sexism and things like that. So now we're about to dive into that, and we're going to start off with New York Comic Con and Cosplay's Not Consent, and we're going to be talking about a few other cons and what we think they're doing really well, what we think they're not doing well, things like that. So feel free to chime in, tweet to us, #RebelBase, if you have any thoughts, inputs, or questions or cons you want us to address, and we will try to cover all that. So, play.
Okay, one side comment. My dad always wants to weaponize my clothes, as you can see. He's mentioning a skirt taser and taser pants. I can tell you, Dad, that I only buy shoes if I know I can kill someone with them. That's why I have spiked flats. But yeah, so cosplay is not consent.
What does
obviously.
it mean that I always wear flip-flops? What does it mean about my life?
You're not guarded enough,
I'm
Sarah.
not prepared. I'm only prepared to slap you with my chancla. Okay, go.
Dude, la chancla is no joke, though. I
know.
I
know. I will spank the shit out of you with it.
When I was like 4, my abuela has never hit me. Ever. She's never hit me. Like, my abuela never hit me. But they would threaten me with a fucking sandal. It's like, I will beat you, Blue, and your parents won't notice.
And now you're like, hi, Blue, for real now.
Hey, my parents noticed. Yeah, so heading back to the main topic, New York Comic Con made these massive signs that said, don't touch anybody, don't take photos without anyone's permission, don't, like, position anyone like there's, like, you know, even if you're pretending to... But they basically detailed, like, every creepy possible thing you could do and say, like, they said, don't fucking do it.
Don't do it.
And it just, like, it makes me so mad that we need these giant signs to tell people to treat each other with respect.
Yep.
Like, it's ridiculous that I can't go to a con and feel safe unless there are giant signs that tell these horrible people not to touch me.
And it still doesn't always work. I think Yaya got groped at
She got groped 3 times outside of the con.
Right.
So it wasn't inside of the con. And she
so we
specified
need those
that it was outside.
Are we saying we literally need those signs all over the world?
Billboards that tell people how to fucking behave. Like, what the hell is wrong with people?
Get on that, city planning.
Seriously. Like, and it, you know, oddly enough and slightly off topic, in New York City subways, there are giant signs that say, don't fucking touch people. And they're not here in LA at all. There's no etiquette. Well, they don't say it, but they mean it because they're New Yorkers. Like, hey, don't fucking touch nobody. Like, it's, yeah. So like, I think, you know, it's leading into real life where there are signs on the bus that, there's a sign on, like, an LA Metro bus. I saw it in a photo that was like, don't masturbate in public. Like,
don't do it.
Why do you need to be told not to masturbate in public? Is that, like, how deranged our society is? That, like, you know, like, dudes will, like, touch themselves in front of women.
Yep.
Like, it's so fucked up. What the hell? So there are a lot of cons that are implicating this. John Scalzi, the writer, has openly said he will not go to a con if it doesn't have an anti-harassment policy.
Awesome. Everyone should
should declare. If I ever become famous, that's what I'm going to do. And, you know. But yeah, I think it's a good thing that we are having more of these at cons, but it's also, like, ridiculous that we have to do. It's as ridiculous as, like, somebody telling me, like, hey, be careful what you go out wearing, because somebody will want to touch you.
Right.
And it's like, why? What the fuck? Like, why can't I just go out in shorts? It's hot. It's LA.
Right.
I hate this place.
But I think, on the flip side of that is, a little. You kind of mentioned this briefly.
Mm-hmm.
The cosplay world is kind of leading the rest of the world in really standing up to rape culture and being the very blatant, loud, very consistent voice saying, hey, no matter what we're wearing, you don't get to touch us, you don't get to say this, you don't get to do this, you don't get to make me feel uncomfortable. And it's really in the world of cosplay that we first started hearing that unanimous, very strong vocal support across social media and on websites and in articles, and I think it actually led the very vocal step up from that, which is just, hey, this applies when I'm not wearing a Sailor Moon outfit as well. This just applies in general. So I think maybe this is the next very positive thing that's going to come from conventions is, hey, look, it turns out at our con we had way less harassment than, we generally do. Maybe we should try putting these signs other places. And yes, I get what you're saying. It's sad that we have to put out a sign.
Oh, yeah.
But some people are, and this is why I'm willing to get into debates with people, is some people are honestly ignorant. Some people have been raised their whole life to believe that they have the right to touch somebody in very specific circumstances. I mean, the other day, Shia LaBeouf, I call him LaBeouf, got on a talk show and talked about how he groped a man who winked at him. And it's like, he felt perfectly comfortable telling all of us that he groped somebody. And he and no one else felt like, oh, this is a problem or this is a bad thing. So some people don't know. And if we make a very concentrated effort to let people know that this isn't okay, maybe we will see something impactful come of this.
Yeah. Oh, no, I totally agree with that. It just irks me that we have to do it in the first place. But, hey, the only way you can change the world is by yelling a lot and getting up and doing something about it. Let's do it, guys. Let's do this. We can do this together.
Yes.
So, I guess our main topic is that, and then also diversity at cons, which is another thing that, there's a point within this message that I'm also, mad about, but I also understand that is necessary. But not at all, actually. Sorry. Go on.
All right. So I was going to talk about the Diversity Lounge, which we all heard about from PAX. So originally, as if you don't know, PAX basically... the folks behind Penny Arcade often say really dumb things and get into fights with people online that they probably shouldn't, but, it's their life, whatever. So the most recent one was about trans people, and basically that one of them refuses to call anyone born a certain way, whatever, I can't remember, is that a pronoun, he, she?
Yeah, pronoun.
I think it's a pronoun.
Yeah.
Whatever pronoun they want. They're like, if you're a guy, I'm going to call you a guy, blah, blah, blah. Basically being very insensitive about trans people's wishes. So in response to the big kerfluffle that followed, they announced something called the Diversity Lounge, which would be at PAX shows and would be a safe space for minorities in the geek world. And a lot of people greeted that with, you're putting us in a cage, you're putting us on display, you're making a concentrated area for us all to be and to get attacked. There was so much backlash. Why in the world do you need to actually do this instead of just having an inclusive, comfortable environment for us to be in? Which are all fair and valid points. So I did some research because I actually didn't end up at PAX East this year. At least I don't remember being there. I might have been there. I don't know. Listen. I don't know where this happened. But I did a little digging and research to see what people said about it who actually went to the Diversity Lounge. And actually, it appears that everybody there liked it. They said that it was a good space for people to come in and ask questions. It was that they all felt very comfortable, that Mike actually showed up and showed off one of his games and they talked to him. But their complaints were that it was very diverse in the LGBTI area, but not in the black people, Asian people, women, not in those areas. There were also way less activist groups there. I think the only female group I heard about being there was the Lady Planeswalkers, and shout out to them because we're randomly friends online. I like you guys.
P.S. I just gave a thumbs up, so drink!
Oh, it was 2 thumbs up, so put the other one up so I could drink. Delicious. Anyway, I almost dropped it. I'm a little drunk. So in other words, it was, they felt a good first step. There was a lot more that needed to be done, and still the overall sense of sadness that we even have to make something like that. And then also the hope that other folks who are not minorities within the geek world would think that that is a place that they can come and learn. Because that was something that wasn't apparently very clear to everybody. Like, it was more like, oh, I'm a white male, so I'm not allowed in there. And some people might say, yes, well, we want a safe space. And some people might say, well, if you're not allowed in here, you're never going to learn who I am, and what I'm about, and what I need. And apparently a lot of developers stopped by. Microsoft stopped by. 2K folks stopped by. So a lot of game companies made an effort to show their face in the diversity lounge and to talk to people and ask questions.
And that's wonderful, and I like it. I'm just upset that it didn't happen everywhere in the con. Like, it bothers me that the con, instead of going out of their way to make it a safe space for everyone, said, well, this room is safe for you. And outside the room, too bad. Like, what the fuck kind of logic is that? It just makes me so mad that, like, if you go to a con and you pay for a ticket for the weekend and you're told, like, this is the only spot where we can guarantee you're going to be okay. Like, a Penny Arcade is expensive. It's expensive, dude. PAX is expensive as hell for, like, normal attendees and stuff. So it just irks me that, like, when you pay that much money to go to a convention, you should be able to go and meet developers and get talked to by developers like that, no matter who you are or where you are. And it shouldn't be like, well, we're going to sequester you off here, and if you want to see... It's like a bathroom. Like, if you need to go to the bathroom, go to the bathroom. Like, if you want to feel safe, this is the room you need to go to. Everywhere else is the wild, wild west. And fuck you.
And fuck you.
So, it's just like as nice as that sounds, it's like, why couldn't that have been a panel for everybody where these, where LGBT people and women and people of color can go and just feel normal? Like, it shouldn't be something going like, this is where the gays are! Like...
Speaking of that...
Yeah!
That leads me directly into Geek Girl Con, actually.
Yeah.
So I couldn't attend this year, but I attended last year, and of course I kept informed about everything because I love Geek Girl Con, and I really wish I could have gone, but I'm too poor. But they're an interesting example of that, is this is where the girls go. This is a con for women. And as a result of that, it has one of the best atmospheres of a convention that I've ever been to. And it's kind of sad that that's what it takes to feel comfortable at a convention. Is it has to be a convention that says, hey, this is for women. Men are allowed to come. Anyone's allowed to come. Trans people, inter people, everyone is allowed to attend Geek Girl Con. But the fact that it is called Geek Girl Con and the fact that it focuses on women's issues means that the majority of people coming are women. And it feels safer and better and nicer, and everyone is kinder, and you just feel like this is what I want to do every day. I want to hang out with you geeky bitches. I want to have a good fucking time because y'all are my homies for life. Like, that's what you end up feeling there, and it's so sad that women and minorities don't get to feel that except in places that are specifically pushed away for them. And I feel like that kind of limits everyone's interactions. Like,
Yeah, and no, I totally agree with, like, I love Geek Girl Con. Like, so you need a place to go to. Like, it's like the Girl Scouts and the Boy Scouts. You go meet other girls through your Girl Scout troop and stuff, and you're supportive of each other, and you're loving and stuff like that. But I feel like you also miss out on things, not specifically Geek Girl Cons, but with places like PAX with diversity lounges, like, this is the small amount of friends I can make because I can actually trust them to treat me like a person. And it really sucks because, like, there are people out there that are good, and whether they argue that, like, oh, well, I'm not like them or whatever is another story. But, for example, the Peter Parker that I took a picture with, he asked me for a picture first, and then I was like, yeah, I'd totally love to reenact the death scene. And then he's like, all right, how can I hold you? Is that okay? Like, is it all right if I do this, blah, blah, blah? He was, like, really careful. Like, and he was very, very respectful. And it was cool because I made a new friend that way. But
P.S. Your new friend is hot. Not that that's the point, but I'm just
teenager
saying.
Freak.
That happened to me with a corset guy too. I was just like, who's that hot guy holding Katrina? And then you had like this part where we started. I'm like, oh, I'm an asshole. I'm just as bad as the the men who look at me and think, who is that hot girl in the cat ears?
So it was really nice and refreshing to see that. So I think that and people get so mad that like, oh, why do we have to talk about diversity? Why do we have to do this? Because of us bringing up diversity, because of us bringing up the shit that chicks have to go through at cons, boys are now asking me if it's okay to pose a way that I asked them to pose. Mm-hmm. And like, where can my hand go? Are you okay with me holding your shoulder? Like, it's so nice and refreshing to like have that. And
you know, there are guys who are really against that. And I got into a really big argument with someone the other day where it's basically like, oh, everyone's so PC nowadays. Yeah. It's like, the only person who is hurt by that is you, Mr. Privilege.
Yeah.
We won't talk exactly about it. But
like, why are you so bothered by it?
All the rest of us are really happy and enjoying this change. And it's very refreshing to feel like a human being. And it's nice that people aren't making us uncomfortable anymore. Like, and hey, what's the worst thing that happens to you? Oh, you have to remember to be a good person every once in a while. Like,
oh, it's so hard. Oh, Jesus.
I'm just saying.
And it's not even like an awkward conversation either. It's just like, you know, you pose with someone and they're like, is this okay? Yeah. Oh, all right. Like, it's like that.
Right.
It's such a quick interaction. Mm-hmm. It's so quick. And like, I think these guys or these people, whatever they are, they're like thinking too much about this and not thinking about how like human interaction really works.
Right. Well, it's something that people have had to deal with for generations when the N-word and Negro went out of phase. Don't you think there were plenty of white people like, well, I've been calling them Negroes my whole life. It's not racist. It's just what they're called. Like, yes. And then society grew the fuck up and said, hey, guess what? Black people really don't like you calling them this. Can we just be good people and not call them this? And then finally, eventually it happened. And this happens all throughout human history where something no longer becomes an acceptable thing to do, and that's fine. It's not the end of the world. It's not this generation is becoming PC. It is something that happens over and over, and I think social media is just making it, and the combination of how easy it is to travel to different countries and how easy it is for everyone to be mixing is making this just a lot more well-known and a lot more popular, and that's only a good thing. And no one's hurt by being too PC. Like,
yeah, like there's nothing wrong with like asking someone if things are okay. Like, you don't fucking do that. Like, it's like asking somebody if they can eat fish because they're allergic to it. Like, hey, I want to go get sushi. Are you cool with it? I think you're allergic, but I'm not sure.
God, I hate that you can't eat sushi with
I know, it really sucks.
I had sushi today. I wonder if her whole arm is going to break out in hives.
Oh, gross.
I've been drinking alcohol. I think that cures allergies, actually.
But, yeah, like, you know, and I feel like as little as I do want to touch on Gamergate, I feel like these things that are big controversies now are making it to, like, mainstream audiences and making them think. Like, over the past 5 years, the discussion of feminism has blown up, like, the world over, and it's a good discussion. It's people who are actually, like, listening to people like Jessica Walters on The Daily Show who detailed what walking down the street is like for her in New York City, which is, yeah.
I watched that video, and I guess it was supposed to be funny and make people laugh, but it just didn't make me laugh.
No, it made me really sad. It's like, oh, this is what I do.
This is what I do. We have this conversation all the time in the Geek and Sundry office that when we wear a dress, we know we've got to be prepared, fortify ourselves before we go outside, before we walk to work, before we leave work, before we go to lunch, because we are going to get harassed on the street because we're wearing a dress. Like, guys.
Come on, guys.
It's my life because of that. So anyway.
Calm yourselves.
So we ended up going off track with the Geek Girl one.
Yeah,
do you
sorry
want to talk
about
how San Diego Comic-Con compared to New York Comic-Con?
So New York Comic had giant signs telling people not to cosplay, not to touch cosplayers or each other in inappropriate ways. San Diego.
This is not a good touch.
No, it's not. Any touch is not a good touch for me. And that also reminds me of something else I'm going to bring up in a second. But San Diego decided it was fit with their giant, massive, huge fucking con to put up printed sheets of 8x11 paper saying, like, don't touch each other on, like, a couple doors at Hall H. And I was like, what? Really? I spent, like, the littlest amount of time in Hall H, not necessarily because of that, but that really contributed to the problem. And what that reminded me of was my interview with Damon Wayans Jr. today. He was like, I think if I ever...
Let me pick that name up for you.
Bingo, bango, bongo. But it was really funny because I was like, I asked him, like, if you had a superpower specifically designed around your personality, what would it be? And he's like, I would grow spikes wherever anybody wanted to touch me. And I'm just like, oh, me too! That's what I'm like, I'm like superpower twinsies! That's exactly what I want. Like, so it really blew me away that San Diego Comic-Con, which has been around for years, just didn't catch up with the times and decided that, like, a little printed paper with 2 lines on it was okay, and that it would, like, make a difference. But no, I mean, like, we do need, as much as it irks me that we need them in the first place, we need these signs. We need, there needs to be a riot before we can make something happen. So, yeah.
And, while we're on the topic, again, of New York Comic Con, I thought it was very brave that folks like Brianna and Anita didn't let the threats deter them from still going and speaking and having these very important discussions. I may not agree with every single thing any other feminist says. I mean, that's the caveat for all of us. But to see that they didn't let Gamergate stop them from these discussions, which are important for us to have. That those weren't stopped from happening. Unlike what happened in Utah with Anita, where the folks at the school said, "Hey, sorry, it's totally legal for people to bring guns in here." So
despite a threat of not only against her but their students.
Right. So although a threat has been called in to all of our students, we cannot prohibit people from bringing guns in here, and that's where Anita had to be like, "Okay, well,
I would pull
then
right
I can't come here."
Yeah,
like I'm not going to be responsible for the deaths of all these people.
You know what else was great? And my dad wanted me to talk about my panel a little. It went great. It was about women in geek media. We gave out great advice, and a lot of women came up to me afterwards. I stayed there like for an hour and ran directly to the airport after that because so many people were talking to me. But there was we got a threat that someone would come to our panel with a bat, and I went to the New York Comic Con concierge and showed them that threat, and they said, "That's fine, we're going to take care of you." And what I love about New York Comic Con is how seriously they took that shit. Like, right. Brianna was being watched. Brianna was, like, under their surveillance. Everybody in there that felt threatened was, like, immediately, not necessarily, like, followed, but, like, they'd keep their eye out. Like, New York Comic Con had a bunch of plainclothes security people so that everyone felt safe, and they were like, here's the person that's going to be near you. If you feel any danger at all, let them know.
Yeah. At PAX East the year I did go with Dodger, she had a stalker who told her that he was going to come. And when they let the PAX folks know, they assigned her a security guard, and he walked with her everywhere. And it really did a lot to show, like, literally everywhere at the con for the entire time she was at the con. Yes, he was really hot. But they take these things really seriously in some cons, and it's very refreshing to see that they do, but it's also extremely sad that people who want to talk about comics and games will threaten each other and cause harm to each other. Like, we want to play. Can we play?
And it's just so disheartening that, like, when Anita got that fucking school shooting threat, I posted about it, and it was just like, the reaction helped me unfriend a lot of people, because they were just, instead of going like, oh my god, that's horrible, people were like, oh, they're just giving her fuel for her fire now. Oh, they're just making it worse. Oh, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, what? Like, you're not concerned that there was somebody who threatened a school shooting at a college campus
because of a critic.
I don't like feminists. Feminists make me angry.
Because of something someone said.
Look, if you love something,
criticizing something, I can't. That's like
it's so
threatening
ridiculous.
A shooting because a burger flipper flipped a burger. Like, that didn't hurt me. If that burger was flipped, I may not like burgers. I might be a fan of French fries, but I'm not gonna threaten to shoot up the McDonald's because a burger was flipped today.
Fucking crazy ass people. Crazy. Oh god, it's already 9. Oops. If you guys are down to stick around a little longer, I mean.
Well, we can kind of wrap it. The only one we haven't talked about was BentCon and GamerX, unless you had something else.
No. So talk about it.
So BentCon is coming up, and BentCon is a really great convention focusing on LGBTIA.
QIA.
Huh.
Yeah.
There's too many damn letters in that, and I just don't know what to do with it. Ligabakataka. So that's coming up, and they're looking for folks to help staff the Trevor Project booth. So if you're anywhere around, is it Burbank?
Yeah.
No. Is
No?
it? I don't know. It's in California,
It was
Southern
Burbank
California.
last year.
If any of you, okay, that's probably Burbank, are around, P.S., hit me up if you'd like to volunteer for that. But they're also trying to do their part to really promote the visibility of, the minorities in that world. And they talk about comics and video games and movies and everything else like that. So they're a really cool con. You should check them out. I don't know, GamerX kind of had some things going on, so I don't know where they are at this point. If you know, do you know any more? Yeah. So I'm not sure where they are with it. But those are the cons that we know about. Those are some of the things that we enjoy about them. I would say the con that has the biggest step up to take would be E3. I think E3, because it's a trade show, it's just not a comfortable place to be as a woman. I and other friends have been touched, harassed, made to feel like we were just the girlfriends is like the lightest thing towards the heaviest thing, which is made to feel like if we say anything, we will be fired from our jobs. So that to me, that is the con that I feel the most uncomfortable at. Do you have a con that you think needs to really step up?
I would absolutely say E3 as well. And it's not, it is an industry show, but at the same time, because it is an industry show, there should be people acting more fucking professional there. Like, it's ridiculous, no matter what you're doing there, whether you're a booth babe, which I hope are phased out soon, they're being replaced by cosplayers, and I'm all about that. But, like, whether you're a booth babe or you're an actual industry worker, like, you've probably been treated or groped incorrectly. Like, it doesn't even matter if you're working as a booth babe. Nobody has a right to touch you. Like, that's how I first got into E3. I worked for, like, 4 hours a day, and then they let me play video games all day, and then I got a great journalism job because I got to talk to other people there. But, in most situations, I wouldn't have been that lucky because the people I would talk to wouldn't take me seriously. And then I would come back as a journalist and somebody who was, like, there to cover their game, and it's like, if you talk down to me, like, it just sucks that, like, if I go and interview someone, they're not scared that I'll give their game bad press if they treat me like crap.
Yeah.
Like,
Funny.
It's really hilarious that has happened, and it's just, like, ridiculous that myself and a lot of women who are not only journalists but developers, people who helm these games, people behind the companies, people in CFO positions, get treated this way.
There's a game I didn't cover because the guy was like, to one of the other women with me, he was like, oh yeah, you play Call of Duty? And she was like, yep, I play this, I play that. He's like, cool. And he's like, oh, you play Call of Duty? I said, no, I don't play Call of Duty. I play other games. He's like, oh, what, like Cooking Mama?
Wow.
A guy who wanted me to, like, talk about his product. I was like, did you not see me just get all these kills with your product that I'm not going to name because I'm not going to give him...
Yeah, because fuck him.
Like, okay, because I don't play Call of Duty. You know how many other FPSs there are out there?
Seriously.
Like, anyway,
it's so ridiculous.
I gave him the stankest of stank faces, and he immediately, like, shut his mouth and stopped laughing because he saw that he done fucked up. But, I mean, that's a normal thing, and so I'd say E3 is really... needs to step it up.
I would love to see giant don't fucking touch people signs at E3 because everyone from younger people to the old people that probably don't even have a place there, and it's horrible because I could definitely be called ageist with a lot of the things I say, and I'm sorry, but
you're still ageist, girl.
I am ageist because all these old white men come into my conventions and think it's okay to touch me. Like, first off, 60-year-old asshole, how the fuck do I know that you've ever played a video game? Like, can you even read what the words on the screen say? Like, you were like older than my dead grandfather. Like, what the? Go away. Get out of here. I don't think you play video games.
Speaking of that, though, so there was an issue about a German cosplayer cosplaying as Michonne, and I'm not even sure if that's how you say her name. Michonne. Yeah. There we go. I've never actually watched the show or said it out loud, so I had no idea. She painted herself black for it and added prosthetic wider nose and did all this stuff. There was a big thing online where people told her, hey, that's really racist. It explained blackface to her, and she was like, oh, I didn't mean to hurt anybody. I just want to look like the character. So I'll take the pictures down, but I'm totally still doing this cosplay. Anyways, people were sharing it, saying, oh, what do you feel? And mostly it was older white men who were saying, this isn't racist, this is totally fine. Everyone else saying, dude, this is Like, even if she didn't intend for it to be offensive, as soon as you learn that something is offensive, you just stop, right? Like, that's what any good human being does. Like, I used to say fag a lot because I had a best friend growing up who was gay, and we would call each other fag, and it was okay because we were both, you know, we knew what we were talking about. When I got to college, I was made aware very quickly that wasn't okay. And I didn't say, no, I should be allowed to say it because I've always said it. I was like, oh, okay, I'm very sorry. And I haven't said it since. It actually took effort for me to say it just then. So the fact that so many of these older white men are like, no, and it's like, you're doing it. You're doing that thing.
What irks me is that, like, go on, I'm sorry.
And I get really angry about it. I'm like, you're doing that thing, and I'm really angry about it. But then I have to remember, they're not going to be at this convention. Those guys who said that, they're not going to cosplay. I'm never going to have to worry about that old man who said this isn't racist showing up in a blackface cosplay because he's just commenting on something. It's nothing to him. It's not a part of his life. Whereas oh my god, the cats are having sex. Yes,
Smokey,
get him.
stop.
Yeah, take him.
Smokey, no.
Take him. Fur is not consent.
That's gross.
They're having sex, guys.
Why are your cats doing that?
The Smokey had to show him who was boss. The hard way.
But, oh, Jesus Christ.
The hard way.
Smokey, okay, that is sexual harassment. I don't approve.
The point is that these folks who are saying these things are not the cosplayers, and I think that it bodes really well that most of the people who were standing up to her were cosplayers. I think the cosplay community does a really good job of policing themselves.
You know, and I think that kind of reminds me of some, like, look, black cosplayers don't paint themselves white when they cosplay as white characters. They don't paint themselves another color when they cosplay as a Japanese character. If you love a character who is a person of color, just cosplay them.
Wear their clothes.
Like, it is much, do your hair. I've seen black cosplayers who cosplay Sailor Moon, and they'll use silver or black hair because it just looks better. Like, they can wear whatever wig they want. I don't care. If it looks pretty, it looks pretty. Right. And I'll take a picture of it. But, you know, if you're a white person and you really love Michonne and you really want to cosplay her, you don't need to paint yourself brown.
At all.
There are creative ways to do that character in a way that pertains to your race that is still respectful.
Or, I mean, just like, you shouldn't see a character as their race. Like, I've seen so many white Lanas.
Mm-hmm.
She's just Lana. I see someone walk by, that's Lana. It doesn't matter what their skin color is because Lana is not black woman. Mm-hmm. Lana is a interesting character. She's a spy. She's Archer's ex-girlfriend. She's so much more than her skin. Mm-hmm. So whenever these ignorant folks do this, where they paint themselves, it's just a hurtful reminder that white people seem to not be able to see other races as themselves and as people, and they see them as their skin first. And, you know, I brought this up with the guy. I was like, well, you don't see people, like, painting themselves yellow to be Asian characters. And he sends me a link to a YouTube video where this white woman is explaining how to look like an Asian girl, but it's actually just making herself look like an anime character, so it was triple racist, and yes, she made her skin more yellow. And I was just like, you don't have to do that. Why would you want to do that? Like,
it's really funny, and I told Sarah about this earlier while I was totally fangirling, but I interviewed, I did Beer Hero 6 cast interviews today, and I was talking to Jamie Chung, and we had a really great interview, and while she was leaving, she said, you're like the real-life Gogo Tamago, who is, like, my absolute life, and I love her. And I was like, holy crap, because, ever since I saw Gogo, I wanted to cosplay her, and I had a fear that, like, I feel like if I cosplay as a strictly Japanese character. We're not talking about like an anime character. Gogo is Japanese. And I just felt like I didn't want to make a costume that was patronizing in any way, but I love Gogo. Right. Well, I
can take that fear away from you right now. I work with an amazing group of ladies called Chocolate Cover Cosplay on occasion. Shout out to them. And through them have learned a lot about this. Basically, if you like a character, it doesn't matter what race they are, cosplay them. Yeah. You don't have to paint your skin. That's the only thing that's weird, because we're actually real humans, so when you paint yourself up to be the same color as any of us, it's weird and creepy. But, like, if it's green, go ahead and be green, because there's no green people walking around. That's fine. There's no, like, weird, I'm superior to you and I only see you as your skin color thing going on. It's like, no, that bitch is green. She's really green. But you could also cosplay that green character without green skin, and no one's going to say shit to you, because cosplay is about expressing your love of a character. And as long as you do it without stomping on someone else's, like, culture, then that's fine. And Gogo, as you said, is a Japanese character. As long as you don't make your eyes long with makeup, you're Gogo. Like, nobody's going to say anything to you. You were Gwen Stacy, and no one was like, excuse me, Gwen Stacy is white. I need you to take that off right now.
Arguably, you can't really see how Hispanic I am, but really?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know it showed. Everyone always just tells me I'm white. I always get really depressed about it because I'm like, oh, I wish I looked more Hispanic, but my people were raped by German people, so.
Yeah, so I'm like, yeah. It's I was reading someone's genealogy. Oh, like it's Barry Gordy. Why am I not remembering who it was that I was reading about? Anyway, it's like, oh, he's related to all these noble white people, and all the African people are straight through the maternal line. Oh, you know what that means? That means there was just white man raping the mamas all throughout his entire line. How horrible is that? Let's talk America. Anyway. But, yeah. Why'd you laugh after that? Was that
No, it was just like
funny?
the way you presented it. It was just
I'm just reading
Sarah fashion.
Listen, the article was like, and, through a maternal line, straight through all the women in his family, right back to Africa. Oh, Lord. Anyway, that's just where I was.
Yeah, so I am completely confident about cosplaying Go-Go now, but halfway because Jamie told me it's all good, but halfway because in the end it's just because I really love her. Like, I think Go-Go is the coolest character in the world. You don't get to talk about her too much in the movie, or you don't get to learn that much, but she's the character who saves the day. She's the character who, when everyone else is freaking out, she's just like, I got this. I know what I'm doing. Screw you guys. Woman up.
Woman up.
Woman up.
Woman up. Ha! We need to get a graphics person so they can actually make us fly away.
I want to get like a freaking hashtag t-shirt that says woman up.
With us flying away, right? P.S. Have you guys been checking out Catrina's photoshopping of us in our posters?
That's great. I did one of her stabbing me in the back with 2 lightsabers with...
One of my favorite things.
Yeah, she was
Massage Ventress?
Yeah, Ventress. And, yeah, it was pretty great. So, yeah. So I guess I want to kind of also, just really quick, talk about Star Wars.
I wasn't going to say anything because I was like, hey, that's the one thing.
Maybe we'll get through the podcast without.
Where you won't have to actually drink, but no, it's happening. Take your cup.
Take your cup. I'm just talking about Star Wars Unprovoked. So yeah, all of the artwork that most of these like sites like Badass Digest and all those like rumor sites have apparently been getting have all leaked. I'm talking like 20 pieces of art with like huge spoilers. So I'm not and that's spoilers within the concept art. So it may have changed, and there are a lot of the concept art in that is still ambiguous. But what I am completely sure of is that Daisy Ridley's character is our new hero for Star Wars. She's our new Anakin. She's our new Luke. There is no ifs, ands, or buts about it. John Boyega's character is her sidekick. Like Daisy Ridley is it. And I'm in love with everything I see so far. There's like this one thing that kind of like scares me about who the villain might be, because it's so ambiguous as to who he is, because he has like this robot hand. Oh my god, I hope it's Cade. That would be so awesome. But he has like this robot hand, so he could easily be Luke or even Anakin if he wanted to be, or he could be somebody completely new. But the settings look incredible. Kira is like living in this AT-AT, and she's got like this sick ship that she pilots all by herself, and it's just like so cool. And she gets a lightsaber, and she's like fighting somebody on a mountain, and just like, guys. So if you want to see more about that and don't mind possible, maybe not spoilers about Star Wars Episode 7, go ahead and check me out on Movie Pilot, because I posted an elaborate dissection of every piece of concept
art. She really
did. Yeah, I'm weird. Sorry.
It's not weird. Don't fucking stop saying sorry. I'll punch you in the face. Say sorry one more time.
Take a drink.
So, right before we get into chick picks, I want to remind you that next Saturday, October 25th, we are doing Extra Life.
Yeah.
I don't know if Catrina knows this, but Extra Life is generally a 24-hour thing. Did you know that?
I know. I didn't know if we were going to do it for 24 hours.
Yeah, we'll probably...
Should I be here at midnight?
What we'll probably do is we'll like take turns. Like, it'll be me for a stretch, then it'll be both of us, it'll be you for a stretch. So that's currently the plan. But hey, I mean,
Please
if we reach
coffee.
Yeah, if we reach our goal super early, you never know. So I wanted to show you a few of the things that we have to give away at Extra Life.
Yay!
This one came from Loot Crate. It's an alien action figure. Really cool if you're a fan of Alien.
Oops.
God, did you just drop that on the
I just
floor?
dropped a bunch of stuff on the
We have a game called Chronology. I'm sorry this is backwards, but use your mirror to figure out what this game is called. It's a really fun game for nerds because it's basically asking you what happened first, or did this happen before, did this happen after? And if you're like a little push up your glasses nerd like I am, it really makes you happy. We have some Indiecade shirts. We have more than one, which a bunch of indie games on gem. Ja, have your indie games. We have a little popcorn white worker for Game of Thrones.
And we have a Fix and Felix from Breaking Round.
I was like, are you going to remember what it's from? And,
I remember.
We have a really cool game that a friend of mine made. This one is the Robots vs. Dinosaurs one. But you basically roll die, and you can mix and match this with other games like that. And then we have a bunch of codes to give away.
Yay, for games.
So we have lots of things to give you. Please be sure to mark your calendar to be there for part of our stream. Tell your friends about it. If you could donate $5, it would make us really happy.
It would make a lot of people really happy. Extra Life is video gaming for the Children's Memorial Hospitals. Memorial? Hope something?
Children's Miracle Network.
Miracle Network hospitals across the country. These are kids who can't pay their own bills because they're not in situations where they can. And I've been one of those kids before, so this means a lot to me. My sister was one of those kids before. Like, my family has this thing about being sick. It happens a lot, and we've always we struggled with bills.
My family has a legacy.
We have a
It
legacy.
is falling ill.
We are always sick.
That was bothering me too. I'm glad that it was bothering you as well.
Yes.
You were like, this is in my way.
But yeah, so, help out sick kids. Watch us play video games. We're going to curse a lot. Don't tell the kids we do it.
Don't tell the kids.
Don't tell the kids.
Don't you dare.
Just give them money. Don't tell them anything.
But also, in addition, you're like, oh, I'm too poor to fund us. Okay, cool, guys. Can you tweet about it? Can you share our link? Can you tell people? That's free. Go on your Facebook, go on your Twitter, email the old people in your family and say, hey, I need $5. We'd appreciate it. It's for a good cause, and it's a great way of helping if you can't afford to help. So now we're going to the chick pick section with the section formerly known as halfway do the thing.
Do the thing.
So do you want to go first, since I just talked about Extra Life?
So originally I was going to talk about Kill the Messenger. It's actually a really, really good movie, and it was really funny going to the screening about Kill the Messenger with a bunch of journalists, because it is the story of Gary Webb, who wrote the Dark Empire. Not Dark Empire. That's a Star Wars comic. Dark. It's something dark. And he wrote this expose covering the purchase by the U.S. government of cocaine and planting of it in poor Southern California black neighborhoods. Gary ended up committing suicide by shooting himself twice in the head. Don't know how you do that, but I went to the red carpet for it at New York Comic Con, talked to a lot of the people involved in the movie, not only the actors, but Gary's family and Ricky Ross, who was one of the drug lords involved in it. And it's a really incredible movie. It's great. It really shows you what journalistic integrity really is, and it's not just like, women's are ruining our video games. No, the women's are ruining our video games. No, it's actually some dude like calling out the U.S. for selling black people cocaine. Like, hello. And it is easily Jeremy Renner's like best movie ever. Like, he's always been a whatever actor to me. Like, I love him as Hawkeye or whatever, but like,
Hawkeye, whatever. I mean,
I like Hawkeye. I just like, hey, Jeremy Renner's Hawkeye. I like Hawkeye, whatever. But he is absolutely stunning in this movie. The cast is incredible. Talking to the family of Gary Webb was just like, it was heart-wrenching and also like so informative. There was so much love for this journalist. So if you are all about journalistic integrity and ethics in journalism, I think you should go see this movie.
Someone tell Gamergate about this.
Someone go tell Gamergate about Kill the Messenger, because that's what actual journalistic ethics are about. My other pick, of course, would be Big Hero 6, opening November 7th. It's amazing, and I think it is a much bigger step up as far as Disney's digitally animated movies go. It's really fun, really heartfelt. You will laugh, you will cry, you will laugh, cry, and then you will laugh a little bit more. It's really great. Alan Tudyk is in it. and you guys should go check it out.
Alan Tudyk's, isn't it?
And then my last pick would be following the movie pilot fan art section. We just launched it. It's pretty awesome because we're highlighting really cool artists that we find on DeviantArt. Basically, we find their artwork and we like message them and say like, can we put this on our site? We'll link to you, and then we like broadcast it to our like ridiculously massive fan network. And it's mainly our effort to support like up and coming fan artists and comic artists to get their names out there, because it's like we have all these people watching us. Why don't we do something good with it? You know? So check out Movie Pilot Fan Art. You can follow it on Facebook. There's some incredible artists that we're highlighting, and if you're a big lover of fan art, you should definitely check it out.
Fan art. So my chick picks are, one is a website called Hire This Woman.
Yay!
It is a website that focuses on women in comics and highlights artists and writers and editors in attempts to basically say like, oh, you're saying you would hire more women if they were there or if you knew who they were. Well, here, I have compiled a website for you that explicitly details why you should hire these women. So it's a great signal boost to get more women in the field of comics. And I believe you can simply type Hire This Woman into Google and it pops right up. But I think it's part of Comics Alliance, if I remember. And then my next chick pick is the video game version of that, which is Nerdy But Flirty's own NBF directory. We basically have if you click on it, it's a separate page on our website, NBF Female Directory, where we list all these other websites that talk about gaming and some other cosplay ones and video ones. And we break it down by category, where we have attempted to highlight other women we know trying to make a big scene in the geek world as well, and we just want to show them some love and get some eyeballs on their page as well. So please check that out. nerdybutflirty.com is the easiest way to get to that one. My third chick pick, I have completely forgotten in the course of talking about this with you. So yeah,
can I suggest one in your place, in your stead? I would like to suggest the article. Oh my gosh, I just forgot what it was.
Oh,
there's an article out there. There's an article out there highlighting the 5 women who have wielded Mjolnir, and all you got to do is just Google women who have been Thor. And it's like the first thing that pops up, and it's this great summary of every chick that has ever been worthy of Mjolnir, and the new Thor makes 6. So 6 guys.
So let's talk real briefly. The podcast is technically over, but we will briefly mention 2 things that were asked. One was from last time, which is what do we think of the new Thor? I just read it. First of all, I love that outfit. Second of all, just like a lot of times when they first introduce a new superhero, she is pretty much not in this issue until the very end. But that's for the build-up, and it has reasons, so I'm not against it. And it so far has left me very intrigued. They've really raised like the threat level. Like it's very like, why did you end here? I need to know if people live. So that's exciting. There's a lot of danger and blood and death, so I'm on board for this, and I'm excited to see where it goes. And then the second one was about Korra. I have been watching every episode. I caught up on Friday's episode. I'm still bored.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yes. Oh, Korra. Okay. So the things that are keeping me on with Korra, Toph is back, and also Kuvira. Kuvira.
I'm surprised Kuvira is straight.
Yeah, me too.
She really seems like a strong lesbian character.
Yeah, she does. But Zelda Williams is hitting it out of the park as Kuvira, and she's pretty much the one reason I am holding on to the show, much like for a good chunk of Avatar The Last Airbender, Toph was the only reason I held on to that show. But then it got good again, and it's alright.
Zuko was all I ever needed.
Whatever. So, yeah. And I think Zuko came back last season. As a very old Fire Lord man.
Old man who did nothing.
Rode dragons?
Did nothing.
He rode dragons.
And his daughter is actually in this latest episode, but doesn't speak at all.
So, hopefully, I don't know. I mean, it's their last season. You'd want to do something amazing and impactful, but so far it's just like, well, I guess this character's cool. Oh, and the other thing about the latest episode, I think, is that the Earth Prince or whatever, when he's dancing, all of his moves are moves that Beyonce has danced. Like, shot for shot. Like, they took video of Beyonce from her concerts and were like, that's it.
That is the dance of the giant mole badgers. Speaking of that, somebody just said something. Oh, Gotham. I gave up on it after the first episode, so I can't tell you anything about
I gave it my 3-episode shot, and it just did not... I can't anymore, man. Like, and that's crazy, because The Flash is... Wow.
Is that what The Flash is?
It's
Katrina's review of The Flash.
But yeah, no, The Flash started off really, really strong. Didn't think I would like it. I was just like, who is this Andrew Garfield ass motherfucker? But Grant Gustin hit it out of the park as Barry Allen, and the cast is really fun. And I'm excited to see where they go with it. Like, it's rare that DC starts a series off so strongly, because Arrow started off really boring, really boring, and then it got like,
yeah, I remember.
And then it got really good, like in the past season. But like, Arrow started off bad, Gotham started off bad. I still argue that Gotham is a stupid, stupid story, and they should just have focused on Gotham Central. It's already written, they just need to pull it. Like, it's so irritating. And also, does Jim Gordon's girlfriend ever leave that house?
No, she has a stay-at-home girlfriend.
She just stays there all day.
Stay-at-home girlfriend. She's got to take care of the cats, damn it. She's got cats, invisible cats to take care of. That goldfish ain't gonna feed itself.
Yeah, that's okay. Barbara Keene was never really my favorite in the comics anyway. But yeah, I couldn't do it anymore. Like, it just irked me too much. So unfortunately, no more Gotham for me, unless somehow it takes like a serious turn and stops being about Jim Gordon and everybody. Yeah. Everybody ever.
Happy about Renee's character being in it.
I am happy about Renee's character being in it, but I feel like everything about Renee's character is shoehorned. Like, it's just every episode, it's just like, P.S. she's a lesbian. Hey, she's a lesbian. Did you know that? She's a lesbian. Not her, but...
Wait, so I don't understand. Is she straight?
She's a lesbian!
Speaking of which, Bodacious Space Pirates episode 17 is the best episode so far of Bodacious Space Pirates. You guys, if you're not watching this show, I've told you 4 or 5 times, go fucking watch this show about science and love and friendship and girls helping each other and shooting people. Go watch it now.
Yeah. All right, she's been on this movie. On this anime for a while.
On this anime for a minute. Oh, I also watched Fate's Day Night.
How was that? I've never watched it.
It was engrossing enough that I was like walking by brushing my hair, and I ended up sitting down on the bed and watching the entire thing. So it definitely was engrossing. I wanted to know what's going on, but it was just the first episode. So I'm interested to see what happens with this slave woman, if it turns into the familiar trope, or if it is actually pretty awesome. I don't know anything about it. The show's apparently aired before, so other people know about it. Don't spoil it for me. What is that show where they go into the video game? Sword Art Online Season 2, I believe, is what I've been watching with Shinon, the gun girl, and that shit sucks. And it sucked all the way to the very sucky end. Sucky.
Oh, okay. So my dad brought up Star Wars Rebels, and I'm going to do it. Dad, this is the last show I'm going to talk about, because we're running 30 minutes over now, and we have a very nice man taking care of our podcast right now. Star Wars Rebels is going pretty freaking well. I did not care about the Clone Wars. I did not care about Clone Wars.
I enjoyed a lot of Clone Wars. Then again, I skip around a lot on the Clone Wars.
It's just like, I have to watch a show about Anakin Skywalker.
To me, this show is about her, not him.
I know, but Rebels is great. I am like in love with Sabine, the Mandalorian. She's like so, and it's crazy because like I'm not like a girly character, and she's kind of got that like edgy girly edge, and I just love how she like paints shit, and then it's just like, actually that paint was dynamite. So I love her. I love Hera, the Twi'lek, who is like a badass pilot who can outrun anybody. So yeah, I mean, it's going really well. Again, it's still a little early for me to tell, but I am going to be following it because it's supposed to tie directly into episode 7 somehow. So we'll see how it goes.
So thank you so much for watching, and for those of you listening, thank you so much for listening. Oh yeah, because we also have
we have an
on
audio
iTunes.
podcast.
Was the last one put on iTunes?
No, it wasn't.
Well, it's gonna be
I
up
couldn't
there
do
soon.
it.
Yell at Katrina, tweet her, and tell her she's a horrible person, and will burn in the very pits of geekdom.
My
hell.
life got flip-turned upside down this week, so
Did she move to Bel Air with her uncle?
No.
Find out next time on Rebel Base Podcast.